Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers at the party. I saw her wrapped around someone else. I simply walked out. The first crack in my marriage came in the form of a text message that wasn't meant for me. It flashed across her phone screen at 11:47 p.m., lighting up the dark bedroom while she showered. I can still feel your hands on me. No name. Just a number. And a red heart. I remember staring at it, waiting for my brain to rearrange the words into something innocent. A joke. A misunderstanding. A wrong number. But my chest tightened in a way that told me I already knew. When she came out of the bathroom, towel wrapped around her hair, I was sitting on the edge of the bed holding her phone. Who is this? I asked quietly. She didn't panic. She didn't stutter. She glanced at the screen and gave a small laugh. Oh my God, that? It's Jenna. We were messing around at yoga. It's an inside joke. She kissed my cheek and took the phone from my hand like I just asked about the weather. And I let her. That was the worst part. I let her. After that night, I started noticing things I should have noticed months earlier. The way she angled her phone away from me. The sudden passwords. The gym sessions that stretched longer and longer. She'd come home smelling different. Not like sweat or perfume, but something unfamiliar. Cologne that didn't belong to me. But every time suspicion rose, I swallowed it. Because I loved her. Because we had history. Because I didn't want to be the insecure husband imagining ghosts. Then came the party. It was her company's annual celebration at a rented rooftop downtown. She told me spouses weren't really expected, but I insisted. I even brought flowers, stupidly proud to show her off. When I arrived, music pulsed through the building. Laughter spilled into the hallway. I remember adjusting my jacket, rehearsing a smile. I didn't have to search long to find her. She was near the bar, wrapped around someone else. Her arms looped lazily around his neck. His hands resting too comfortably on her waist. Their foreheads almost touching as they laughed at something private. It wasn't a drunken stumble. It wasn't a friendly hug. It was intimacy. The kind she hadn't shown me in months. My body went cold before it went hot. I felt my pulse in my ears drowning out the music. For a split second, I thought maybe this was another misunderstanding. Maybe it looked worse than it was. Then she leaned in. And he kissed her. Not a quick peck. Not an accident. A kiss that had history. I stood there 10 feet away, holding a bouquet of white lilies like an idiot. She pulled back first. And that's when she saw me. Our eyes locked. The color drained from her face. His hands dropped from her waist. The world didn't explode. No one gasped. The music kept playing. It was strangely quiet inside me. I didn't storm over. I didn't shout. I simply set the flowers on a nearby table. And I walked out. She called me 17 times before I reached the car. I didn't answer. I drove aimlessly for nearly an hour before parking near the river. The city lights reflected off the water, blurring in my vision. Memories started replaying like a cruel highlight reel. Her telling me she was too tired to be intimate. The weekend work conference. The way she flinched when I tried to hold her hand in public last month. Every small moment I dismissed now rearranged itself into the truth. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't insecure. I was betrayed. My phone buzzed again. This time a text. Please come back. It's not what it looked like. I stared at it until anger finally broke through the numbness. Not what it looked like. It looked like my wife kissing another man. What alternative explanation was there? When I finally went home, she was sitting at the kitchen table, makeup smeared, eyes red. She stood up the second I walked in. I was going to tell you, she said. That sentence felt like a slap. Tell me what? I asked. My voice sounded foreign. Calm. Detached. That I've been confused. Confused. I let out a hollow laugh. How long? She hesitated. That hesitation answered more than any number could. 3 months, she whispered. 3 months of lies. 3 months of coming home to me. 3 months of sharing a bed. Do you love him? I asked. Tears spilled down her face. I don't know. That hurt more than if she'd said yes. Because it meant I had already been replaced in her heart long before tonight. She tried to explain. Said we'd grown distant. Said she felt invisible. Said he made her feel seen. And maybe there was truth in that. We had fallen into routine. Work. bills, exhaustion. I thought stability meant safety. I didn't realize she experienced it as emptiness. But here's the thing no one talks about. Feeling lonely doesn't justify betrayal. If she was unhappy, we could have talked. We could have fought. We could have tried. Instead, she chose secrecy. She chose him. I never meant to hurt you, she said, reaching for my hand. I stepped back. That's exactly what you did. That night I slept on the couch. Not because I was trying to punish her, but because the idea of lying next to her made my chest tighten. At 3 a.m., I stared at the ceiling and asked myself the hardest question. Could I ever trust her again? Love doesn't disappear instantly. That's the cruel part. Even after seeing her kiss someone else, part of me still wanted to hold her. But love without trust is just fear. The next morning I made coffee. She stood in the doorway, looking smaller than I'd ever seen her. Are you leaving me? She asked. I thought about the first apartment we shared. The cheap couch. The way she used to fall asleep on my chest. The vows we made. And then I thought about the party. About her arms around him. About the way she didn't notice I was gone until it was too late. I think you already left, I said quietly. That was the turning point. Not dramatic. Not explosive. Just honest. She cried. I did too later alone in the car. We agreed on a separation that week. It's been 8 months now. Some days I still replay that night in my head. But the image doesn't destroy me the way it used to. It reminds me of what I deserve. Of the moment I chose dignity over chaos. Walking out of that party wasn't weakness. It was the first time in months I respected myself more than I feared losing her. Betrayal changes you. It forces you to confront uncomfortable truths. About yourself. I learned that love isn't just about staying. It's about honesty. It's about choosing someone every day. Especially when things feel ordinary. And if they stop choosing you, you don't beg. You don't scream. Sometimes you simply set the flowers down and walk away.